In this video, I'm going to be discussing a little bit about how behavioral and cognitive interventions can impact our own well-being, particularly through what's going on in the brain. And the two things I want to talk about mostly in this video is brain-derived neurotropic factor, which tends to be a hormone that produces uh, growth and maintenance and that helps develop new neurons and maintain old neurons and support the healthy functioning of those neurons for better learning and memory and adapting and developing skills. It also has a positive impact on things like the immune system and immune function by downregulating things like inflammation. Inflammation being something that's a big contributor to different various types of diseases. And the other thing I want to be discussing a little bit about today is neurotransmitters, which are brain chemicals essentially. And these are built from proteins that are often synthesized in the body through what we eat, and they can be encouraged also to be produced through things like physical activity. And when we engage in physical activity, there's a release of various different neurotransmitters and the hormone brain derived neurotropic factor that helps to support our nervous system as well as a bunch of different mental functions. And this includes things like mood and cognition. Cognition being something that has a lot more to do with perception and thought. When you engage in consistent physical activity, this doesn't necessarily have to be going to the gym, and in fact, actually doing aerobic exercise. So more endurance type training, walking distances, doing jogs or running, going for a hike. These can actually do a lot more for increasing BDNF and regulating various neurotransmitters if you're doing it consistently and for prolonged bouts. So it's not the same thing as if, like, say you're watching a TV show and you'd go for like a 5 minute walk around the house. Maybe you're checking laundry or you're going to the fridge to grab something, and then you come back and then you sit down for, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes, and then you do maybe another 2, 3 minute walk, maybe up to 5 minutes. You come back. That's not the same as doing a pretty consistent walk for about 10 to 20 minutes where you're just walking fairly consistently. And where you might actually see some benefits and which kind of combines a little bit of those is, let's say that you're going for an hour hike and then you're stopping every 5, 10 minutes to enjoy the scenery. That's a little bit different because you're not sitting as long for that same period. And also when you're enjoying and you're outside in nature, there are other things that are entering your body and your brain. Exposure to nature, there's a lot of different things that are activating neuroplastic changes because you have different things that you're sensing in your nose. Like if you're in a forest, there's a lot of particles that are coming from the dirt that the plants are releasing that are novel to your immune system that your body's picking up and is absorbing. There's also different changes in scenery too. It's not as a stable environment, and because it's not as stable as environment, because you have shifts in the weather, you might have changes in color, you might see new people. All of these are encoding new information in your brain and are important for releasing different chemicals. Like acetylcholine responds to this novelty. If you notice like a new path on a trail, you might get a surge of acetylcholine. You might, if you experience positive emotion in relation to novelty, you might get a bit of dopamine or serotonin release uh, once you're encountering that positive experience. And if you go through that novel trail or forest path, your brain's also engaging in new inputs that are being encoded in your brain, and that you might be learning to memorize this new pathway that you are incorporating into a traditional route. So you're deepening your body of knowledge that way. Um, so, put simply, when you engage in certain behavioral or cognitive interventions, you can increase different things that are going on inside your nervous system that helps to support learning and memory, as well as your immune function.